The Latino version of The Odd Couple was an idea I've always had for a long time. I love that play. I thought Neil Simon was one of the greatest comic writers of all time. And he writes in a genre of not only situation comedy, but comedy of character. And The Odd Couple happens to be, I think, one of his best. He's written a lot. And it's been done, by the way. It's been done with African Americans. They did even a Spanish version, which wasn't very good, in New York. And I thought, you know, we have those characters in our community. We have that. I know, because I used to play cards with my friends, you know. And I thought, well, this ritual is not owned by our Anglo society. And the cast has to be good, and they have to be as good as the Broadway guys and, you know, the film guys. And so I found our Walter Matthau was Paul Rodriguez. I found Oscar in Paul Rodriguez. Our Felix, it was Mike Gomez. He is Felix. And how better to do a play with a perfect cast, right? And all we did, and we didn't, because you can't change anything in Neil Zeisman's words. What we did was change, like instead of the Pigeon Sisters, we call them La Palomas, which was translated. We just translated the play, and the location was San Diego instead of New York. The Brooklyn Bridge was the Coronado Bridge. But the words were all in Simon's, and the comedy was all Rodriguez. And it was very successful. I was just incredibly pleased with it, you know. In fact, when we did it and we filmed it, it looked like we were doing a television show, you know. It's too bad that that wasn't the Odd Couple that became on the television series, because that would have been a great, I think, a great look at our community in terms of the other side of the Odd Couple. And some plays work and some plays don't, you know. Simon really worked with this character. The Odd Couple. We are kind of the odd couple. We are the odd couple here in this society, you know. I think what happens is that when you do a play like that, it also reaches other audiences, you know. The audience that comes. I always have a theory, and I keep in mind, the who is the audience and who are the actors, right? The two who's. Who's the audience and who are the actors? Because without those two who's, you don't have a theater, you know. And the who are the actors is really important for things like Neil Simon, and also for the audience, you know. We had a cross-section of audiences that came. Remember the first, when we first start talking about who comes to our plays and things like that? Well, The Odd Couple was one of those plays where everybody came. Didn't matter whether you were Latino, African American, Asian. It was a play. You know, there was no, oh, this is going to be Latino version or whatever. It was The Odd Couple with happened to be in the Latino world, you know, and it worked. You know, the jokes worked. Everything worked. You know, a good play is a good play.
We did a production, a Latino version of The Odd Couple. For example, whereas The Odd Couple is set in New York, we set it in San Diego. There were references to Tijuana, and there were other localized and cultural references that we were able to incorporate. It was extremely successful with the entire audience. First of all, it's just a great play. I think someone said that at any given point in time, The Odd Couple is being produced somewhere in the world. But what we did was to make it more local and, I guess, more relevant. The laughs that we got, we may have gotten anyway with the original script because it's so good, but they not only enjoyed the humor, but they enjoyed the connection, the intimacy of talking about the Paloma sisters instead of the Pigeon sisters. Jokes about Tijuana instead of, you know, the Bronx. This was also the vision of our artistic director. who saw the value of bringing that great play and making it relevant, kind of telling the story in a Latino voice, which is something I also feel strongly about. We look at stories, the classic Broadway stories, Oklahoma, Fiddler on the Roof. They're actually, even Fiddler on the Roof isn't even set in America, but they tell an American story, but with a different voice, right? Oklahoma is the Midwest ethics. And yet when we talk about our plays, they're almost dismissed as, well, they're Latino. Well, how about their American plays, American stories, American experiences told with a Latino voice? Just like Rent, great musical, told with a different voice, but it's about American experience. The pitch was extremely successful. It was funny. It told a very sobering story in a very funny way. It did not challenge the audience. It entertained the audience, but all the while educating them, giving them an insight what it is to try to pitch a show in Hollywood that isn't looking at your story. It's looking at some graph, some table that says, you know, it's not worth the $1 million where you invest. So these productions, I think, harbinger the willingness and the appetite that not only the Latino community, but the general community has for shows that gives us insight into other people's experiences, other cultures.